guys, and welcome to another edition of Vibing with Thea. As you can see by today's title, we are going to be discussing this topic that I am sure is on the tip of everybody's lips. Drum roll. And that topic is none other than friendship. Put your hands together if you can say hippie hooray, because you've got some real friends. Anyway, I guess we need to start off with what friendship really means anyway. What does friendship really mean? I mean, friendship is going to be something that has a different meaning based on different individuals, because when you're choosing a friend, you ought to have certain values or certain attitudes that you're going to be looking out for. So I know for me, those persons who are in my little circle of unity, 6 Maddie, don't get it twisted, 6 and only 6 that are really close and dear to me. In fact, I don't even call them friends, I say that they're family. All right. One of the key things is that we have a lot of things in common. We share the same set of values, we share the same set of attitudes, we share, well, sometimes the same set of beliefs. Of course, not everybody's walking around as identical individuals, and to be honest, even if you were identical twins, there are instances in which the mindset and the viewpoints on certain issues would have been different. So, you know, how I choose my friends is an interesting factor to explore. A lot of persons know me. A lot of persons might figure that oh, that's my friend. No, actually, you're just an associate. That's what you are. And you need to recognize that you're an associate. The word friend is not something that I use loosely, because the truth is there are certain criteria that you have to meet in order to be considered a friend. Real thing may I tell you about. I mean, I could tell you what a friend isn't. A friend isn't someone who is going to sit and watch you slip down a slope. A friend is not someone who's going to see you do the wrong things, know that you're doing the wrong things, and still cheer you on from the side and like, go friend. No, that is not a friend. That is somebody that you actually want to run very far away from, because a friend is supposed to be able to keep it 100 with you, whether it is for good, whether it is for bad, or anything in between. If the person is a friend, they're gonna check you on whatever it is that you're doing. In other words, your friend should not be feeling comfortable coming to you with some half-truth. Call you out if you have to get called out, and drape you up if you have to get draped up. That's what real friends do. Another thing is that friends are not supposed to be selfish. If there's anything I hate, it's a selfish person. Friendship is not something that is one-sided. So, you know, I am always the one having to get up and call you on a daily basis. No, it don't work like that. You know what? If I normally call you at 5 a.m. and 5 a.m. pass and you don't hear me call you, right? And let's say you're up and about and you probably give me some time, maybe a 15-20 minutes, anything could have happened, and then you recognize you don't hear from me. A good friend going, no, so look here, no man, she kind of out of character. Boom, let me blow up our phone to see what's going on, because this is unlike her. That's how friendship works, right? A good friend is somebody who's going to be there for you, though, in thick and thin. But I can tell you, so I have some friends who stand up in my life like the Rock of Gibraltar. Yes, I'm not trade them people here for nothing. You hear me say my circle of unity just has about 6 persons. Legit, I cannot trade these individuals. They've come through for me in so many ways. And guess what? A lot of persons are of the opinion that when you're talking about good friends and what good friends are doing for you, it's because it's financial. It's beyond financial. Let me tell you something. I have friends who have prayed me through some serious situations in my life. Sometimes some of these issues, I'm getting emotional talking about this. Sometimes some of these issues are not necessarily related to me per se directly, but it might be to other persons that I am affiliated with. It might be a family member, and sometimes, you know, it get kind of rough out there in the Gideon, but it's a friend who says, hey, you don't look like yourself today, and I'm gonna feel like you're going through something, so here what, prayers up. And believe you me, sometimes within 15-20 minutes of those prayers, I'm feeling better. A friend is also somebody who listens to what's not said, Or you gonna have a friend who don't know say you're going through something. Or you gonna have a friend who cannot detect when you are out of your element. Or you gonna have a friend who, is just so out of touch that even though you're not in the same physical space, you're not there, you're not in that space, but that person is a friend, but you don't have that connection for be able to detect that there is something going on with your friend. Listen, if them thing are not going in your life, you need to check your friendship. You really need to take a look at your friendship, because as I said, it's more about a spiritual connection when it comes to having a friendship than just getting up and saying, hey, the two of we like the color red, we're a friend, or we both like lobster, we're friends, or we like to party, we're friends. It goes way beyond those superficial and trivial issues. Now, of course, there are some good reasons why I have veered away from friendships. And in my life, I haven't had a lot of friendship breakup, but there are some things that definitely top the list for me and says to me, hey, you need to rid yourself of these kinds of energy, because this is not who you are at the core, and this is not something that you want to identify with. So let me tell you about some of the reasons I have walked away from friendships. The first one that comes to mind was with my then best friend, because we were friends from little people school, very, very close. I mean, pretty much it's a person who was always in my home. Anything I got as a child growing up, she would get. If she left school and didn't go home, our parents never needed to call and question. She could only be one place, and that would be in the confines of my home. And I remember when we tell you so, we're close enough, we go through every single thing together. One of the things that I can say though, that I respect perhaps about the relationship now, even though we have not spoken for years, is that our breakup was not one of those in which, because we were apart, our secrets, not like there were really anything that was a secret per se, but our secrets were now out in the public. You have them people there, this person was my friend, and then you know that there's like this deep dark secret that the person had, and they confided in you where that is concerned, and now you figure that this is something for the gram, or this is something for Facebook or Twitter or whatever. Our relationship was not like that. I mean, very few persons may know why we're no longer friends, and to be honest with you, when I just simply say to them that it was about a comment that was made, and I just figured that that comment was way below the waist. It wasn't said to me directly, but it was said. And it wasn't about me, but the comment was in relation to somebody that was closely connected to me. And while I know that it must have been coming from a place of anger, and is one of those moments where something just fly out, I still found it in that time to be something that was unforgivable, because to know that that could have come out of your mouth, no, be that should have never happened. And then after that, after we had our little breakup, and I said, look here now, girl, we never can do this, because how you come back from the comment there? We had a little back and forth going on, not on my part, of course, but on her part. I figured there were ways in which she was trying to reach out, but it just never went well, because even when I decided to have an exchange, and this exchange was via, I think it was Messenger, it might have been via Messenger, and I raised the issue to her, and I said, how could you have said something like that? In my mind, I would have expected that it should have been a moment of repentance, it should have been a moment of apology, but instead she started to give justification as to why she did what she did. And so I figured she had missed the point completely. And like I said, the person that she directed the comment towards, it should never have happened. And of course, I know people are gonna be like, so what she did say? I'm not gonna tell you, because I'm that person. I'm still going to hold that, right here. The parties who were involved, who are aware, they're aware, and that's fine, and that's done. All right, so that's one reason. There's another person that I was close to, really close to. Not to say tell secrets or that kind of a thing, but we shared information, and I think to a great extent we were able to support each other where certain things were concerned. And it's a real girl. I don't look with woman, I have no luck with women. In my circle of unity, I can count on probably, I don't know how much finger where the women fall, right? But yeah, so we used to take on the road basically. We had some adventures, etc. And I remember once that something went down. Again, it wasn't a direct thing which led to the breakup, right? But something go on, and I was dealing with it, and in that moment, I think the person figured that the individual that I was dealing with in that moment is somebody that is close to her. And because that person is close to her, if I am to say something, then I needed to go through her. I don't know if that's what she intended, but that is exactly how it came across. And if you know me and you know about that head, yeah, and when this trip, you know, and not normal, right? And I became very angry. And I think what was sad was because in dealing with the matter, I don't want to give away too much because I'm not trying to rehash anything. But let's just say that the way in which a situation was handled was definitely not the right way. And as a friend, I figured that the best thing to do if I had any form of growth was to raise the issue with my friend. And I did. And you know what was amazing to me? My friend could not say to my face that she was sorry for her actions. My friend could not even see from my purview, I guess, where she was wrong. And of course, the scenario was related to a number of persons, to mutual friends on my side, on her side. And of course, the outcome is that everybody agreed with me that, you know, say, the way in which you deal with that never right. Here's what really got me. All right, so we both might have been heated, but here's what really got me. If you are my friend and you are now able to get to the bottom of it and hear where things were wrong, how could you go to everybody else, all of the other third parties, and admit to them that you were wrong? But to me, your friend, the person who will always have your back like that, you can't say to me, say, yo, B, me did wrong. All right, don't say you're wrong, because I guess it's not easy for a lot of persons to say those words, I am wrong. But at least it should have been easy for you to say, I am sorry. And that's all it would have taken. And that led to me just not talking to the person for a number of years, unless it was on a professional level. You know, listen, wisdom and growth, I've grown past that. I am way over that. I have buried that and I've moved on. Because guess what? The truth is, you know, and I've always said this to people though. I said, I'm not going to go out of my way to talk to her because I figured that she should have been able to say, I am sorry. But I've always said this. And I continue to say that if I was passing in the street and she was in need of help, I'm gonna ask Christ, I'm gonna go pull over and help her fight and then go back to just being in my own little zone. I just some mistake. I don't have a bad heart. I don't keep up things. When I'm angry, I just need to say what I need to say, even if it takes me 3 hours to get it out, even if it means I'm going to be repeating myself. But just allow me that space to be until I calm down. If you know me well, you know that that's how I am. Let's see if I've had another friend that I've veered away from. I'm thinking, okay, yes, one last thing, because like I said, there are very few people who I would have hold dear to my heart, who I've had to say kudos to, like bye. I'd have to say au revoir, goodbye, get away. I have one other, and the issue that I have with this person is that she just lie. Look here, me cannot stand lied. You can't just get up and lie for no reason. If you lie, you're a thief. Why am I saying so? If you lie, you're a thief. I said you're a thief, but properly. But if you lie, you will in fact just go out there and thief people things, right? And I also feel that just lying like that is just deception. I don't want nobody around me who have that kind of deceptive spirit there. You understand? I have to stay clear from that. That's not the energy that I want in my space any at all. Because guess what? People like them, they will set you up. Them go and them use your name for this and that, and you yourself never know about it. Somebody call you, I want to do so and so and so, but I heard that, and I'm like, huh? I don't know anything about that. Because in this day and age in 2021, you can't to take certain things for granted. You have to be careful, right? So that's one of the challenges that I have with that particular friend. And when I found out that it was so easy for her to lie about some simple things, I'm like, you know what? That's a no-no. I just don't want to be around a liar. As your friend, if you are going through something, I expect you to post to know so you can take up your phone and you can call me, and then once you take up your phone and call me, we can work through whatever it is that's there. But the moment you start going on the lying path, why? That's where I just call it quits. Meaning a lying thing. But on the flip side, guys, there are some qualities that make a good friend. And my little circle of unity, them have all of this, and I am so happy now to talk about this. So one of the things that I know about my friends is that, like I said, open and honest, brutally open and honest, and I love that. When I say love that, I love that. Listen to me. If I'm gonna put on something and it don't look good, me not a friend will be like, yeah girl, walk out good girl, you look good. No, them say my girl, you know, sister, that clothes are too big for you, you need to take it off. Or that dress is a little bit too short. Or no man, you want to fix up your hair. Those are good friends. They're not sending you out there because they figure that, you know what, make she go on because out of the group she not gonna look better than me. They look a foolishness the way, you know, a lot of women do. My unity circle too, one of the things that I admire about the friends is that they show a lot of compassion. Like I said this before, right? How they show up in ways that I would never even imagine. Yo, me have a friend. When me tell you, say a friend, a very few people me feel like saying, but I go face the music for. But this one is a keeper over what, 20 years of friendship, and it's so refreshing to know that you can have a friend who believes in you so much that they champion your every cause. When you're in that space where you figure that I can't do this, you're reminded constantly that you're built for this. It's like words of encouragement. I remember at one point in time my mom had to do a surgery, and interestingly the next day, you know, my friend would have been here traveling from overseas, and the first stop was literally over my yard. How are you doing? How are you coping? And that was so good because even though there were persons around, it was quite easy for me to feel as though this was a journey I was gonna go through on my own. But here comes the support, and right through the entire process, night and day, proper check point. You don't walk away from friendships like that. That is a friendship that you want to invest in, and I mean it works both ways, right? Another good trait is that there's no selfishness. It's never a one-sided relationship. There might be times in which your friend will have to call upon you, and you not being the person who is always getting to call on them. You know, it's a matter of role reversal, or should I say it's a matter of balance. A lot of persons are friends, but the relationships are always one-sided, and that is never a good thing, right? It has to be a two-way street. It has to be a case in which there is reciprocity, and we have that in our circle, right? And that is something that I absolutely love, and it's a circle of love. Now let me tell you something. I know that one of the reasons a lot of friendships go sour has to do with finances. Lord, haven't I been in that position before? I learn my lesson still, you know. You see me? I don't lend friend money. If I have it, I just give you. I don't lend no friend that is no money. And the friend that I'm talking about now are those associates who believe that, yeah man, we're on the level here, when really and truly that's not the level that we're on, because them know where them dep on, and them name let me borrow and don't pay back. But you see my real friend them can look for me right now and say, listen, you can close your bank account and give me everything we're in it. A good friend will know that if they come to you and they say to you that, look here now, I am borrowing X amount of money and I want to borrow it for Y time, they're gonna try and honor that. And there's always communication. If them can't meet a deadline, them are gonna take up them phone and call and say, look here, I remember saying that I needed to do this for you for today, but I didn't get the opportunity to do it. You know, keep the lines of communication open. A lot of friendship break up because of that. Now, I've had persons that I've cut off, but just to deal with them, because I feel like, listen, you're not gonna take me for a fool. You're not gonna come borrow my money and don't pay it back, and then I act like say I didn't need your money to begin with. I'm not about that life. But a key tip though, as a friend, is if you don't have it to lend, just simply say I don't have it to lend. And if you're not comfortable with lending somebody, simply say I'm not comfortable with lending you, or direct them to the bank. The bank give loans too, right? So we can't be selfish and feel like when you ask for the money, you get it like this, but when time you have to pay it back, it's like it can't even snap it. So may I say it can't be about that. So one of the things persons always ask me though is how comes your circle is so small? I'm telling you something. When me up grow, I never see my mother with more than one friend. Believe you me. So much so that I call her auntie. She was there for my little people graduation, my big people graduation, when my ears was being pierced, when I decided that I wanted my hair to be permed. Like legit every single milestone, she was present. And so I don't even see her as my mother's friend, but I really see her more like my mother's sister. And I call her auntie, as I've said, because, you know, is a friend who is more like family. I didn't see my mother out with Tom, Dick, Harry, Mary, Sue, whatever. It was always the two of them. So I learned from an early age that, look, your circle must be small. Not to mention my father. I mean, maybe I can count on one hand too the number of friends that my father actually has, you know. I can count on one hand too. He's not a man who just up and about and up in a people and that kind of a thing. And I guess when you put the two individuals together, mother and father, one can only imagine why I am the way that I am. You know, a lot of this came from my environment. So I keep it real, I keep it 100, and I just basically keep my circle small. Like really, really, really small, you know? So I just want to say to everybody who might be going through a little bit of friendship crisis now, be encouraged, you know, be encouraged knowing that it's not a case in which you will never ever have a good friend, but maybe you want to look at the criteria that you set in terms of calling a person a friend. That's one thing. You also want to, and this is powerful, let me just say this now, this is powerful, and I'm saying this especially to persons who may be here on this channel that are younger than age 20. You are the ones I'm talking to, because you know what else is true? A lot of these friendships that I have to date are friendships that started way before I even knew that I would live to see 20 years old. So I wanted to honor, you know, my old like Methuselah, right? So I just want you to follow what I'm saying. It is also very important for you to put out in the universe the types of individuals that you want to attract. Sometimes, you know, some stray people, from some people with no class and no quality, no caliber, nothing about them, no values, no attitudes about them something there, them just run up in your space and you just take them up. But is that the kind of individuals that you want to attract as a friend? It is so important for you to declare that to the university. To the universe, it is so important for you to declare to the universe the types of people that you want to attract to be called friends. Very important. And you know what's my final point on this friendship thing? I'm a very reflective person. If you know me, you know that at least 15 to 20 minutes of my day is dedicated to introspection. I check myself. I mean, hobby, I could hear you in your head being like, because, you know, one of the things that he will always say, hey, you always think so you're right, and you always, and I explain to persons, it's not a case in which I'm always right, but I try to be right, right? I try to be right, because at the end of the day, on my own journey, I don't want to be just walking around and getting caught up in all manner of craziness, which is why I'm very strategic with my actions. I'm very strategic with my thinking. That's a part of me, and a lot of that is as a result of me engaging in deep reflection, introspection. May I, you know, check myself. Let me tell you something. Sometimes the issue is not always with the other person. Sometimes the issue is with self, but we don't recognize that. Whether it is that we are expecting persons to always live up to our expectations without realizing that we are not living up to theirs, whether it is that we believe that somebody is going to be quote unquote identical to us, but not recognizing that even within the friendship there has to be space for individuality. You know, my best friend and I, Lord Jesus, this is so interesting because when we were at college, it's so funny. We literally think the same way, we write the same way, but the truth is we're two different persons. Even though every pain she feel, I feel it, and every pain I feel, she feel it. And when it is happy time, we can feel each other's energy, even though we are currently living in two separate countries. You know, we can feel all of that. As much as we are so similar in nature, we are different. And I think why our relationship has been able to work over the years is because we still allow space for our individuality. So we're the same, you know. I don't know how it works. We have two separate mothers, two separate fathers, but we are the same individuals, legit. But at the end of the day, just like twins, you might be identical. If you're identical twin, that is, because you know they're fraternal twins. I should know because I'm obsessed with twins. But anyway, just like identical twins, it's like so many things that are the same, but in the same vein, there are so many things that might be different where they're concerned. So I think a lot of friendships don't work because persons don't allow space for individuality. That's very important. It's just like any other relationship. You know, if it were a romantic relationship, you would still have to allow the space for your partner to be, and it's the same thing in a friendship. So that's it. That's a wrap on my 2 cents where friendship is concerned. I hope for those persons who may be young in particular, you're trying to find friends, be very careful, especially in this 2021 year, of those individuals that you're calling a friend. Think about the things that I have said and see if it applies to you, right? Also, you could give me some tips how to make up with a friend. That might be a good tip, especially if you say you forgive, don't it? You don't forget, you know, because, well, at least me not forget, right? But if you say you forgive, how do you make up with your friend after you've had like a bitter breakup? And I'm not talking about romantic relationships, guys, you know that, right? I'm just talking about somebody who you've really had love for, somebody who you really cherish and you admire, and somebody who you've always wanted to see win. Like, how do you make up with a friend? Also importantly, are all friendships worth fighting for? Just some food for thought, right? So thank you very much for joining me for this video. If you like this video, give it a like. If you love it, give it a love. Make sure either way that you share this video, because you never know, the message in this video might just very well reach somebody at some point in time who needs it. Go ahead and subscribe, turn on your post notification bell, because that's the only way you are going to know when I post a video. All right, guys, thank you for joining me, VWV Squad. Big up yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.